Culture's introduction. Okay, this is Leiming from China, and I'm now work for the Chinese ecosystem research network. It's called CERN. For this topic, for this talk today, is I want just want to show you some our thoughts of the next generation for the generation about the ecosystem observation infrastructure, especially based on the development of CERN. So in this topic that I think that I just focused on some background of the critical learning and also some development in both in globally and also in China. And the last I'm going to introduce some progress and the future work will be done in maybe in recent 2 years. Okay. Yeah. Closer. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Here's the outline that I'll be able to introduce my talk at the 4 different parts. The first is background of critical zone. Here it is that I think that most of us are much familiar with this picture. I think that for an ecosystem that we all know that is very important because it provides some very fundamental and very important basics, such including the products and also the services for human society development. And therefore, that all over the world and include different regions or countries that apply the ecosystem operation and in different skills that to observe ecosystem process and also the ecosystem functions. Here is some photos that when we do the ecosystem observation that currently we will apply the method such as about the biomass and also the water balance and also the soil properties and also the atmospheric conditions. So this is a very common observation system in the current ecosystem species. But we think about this infrastructure, we also connect it to the development of the ecosystem science. The development science that we think that still this infrastructure is not enough to support our need to promote our research work. It is because that when we just focus on the ecosystem, but the ecosystem will be determined by atmosphere and also this looks very unclear. Okay, also the hydrosphere and also the bedrock and also maybe atmosphere. So the different parts of the Earth system together it will determine the ecosystem function and also the ecosystem service. So we just focus on the ecosystem alone. So we cannot explain many phenomena and also maybe some findings. Yeah. So it's so more and more people realize that it's an urgent to proposal a new generation infrastructure for ecosystem operation. Here I want just to show you two examples. First one, from this figure, that we just think that maybe this if we look at it as a big picture, it means that for this place, this will be one place covered by forest, and the next maybe grassland, and also cropland, and the next maybe forest again. And we also noticed that there are some water and the nutrients will flow from forest and then from other systems. Traditionally, we will apply our field observation in different places separately. Some forest site, cropland site, and also maybe the dryland site. So it's totally different. But if this is some different place is located in one region, that we have to treat as a whole system together, That means that we want to make sure that we can be clearly that how is the water or nutrients that flow from the first system and to the next one, and one by one. This is the whole system. So it means that we have to one single ecosystem and to extend it to a horizontal scale to other ecosystems. And also, we will also notice that the water is not just the flow at the surface, and also the water and the nutrients will also go down to the deep soil and even to the underground water. So that means that we have to look at this as a whole system clearly and more that's more integration. Yeah. And another thing that for the past research work that most of our work will focus on the biomass. It means the plants that's above ground, some things like that. But recently, more and more studies will focus on the process and some mechanism in the deep soil, especially some like the microbiome, the function, and how to measure and how to observe, and it's some very important mission, and to explain we will found in the system. So it means that with development of the ecosystem research, we have to try to find a new pattern or new approach to promote our ecosystem research work. Okay, another thing that's very interesting publications here. In the left, we have three different small panels. It comes from one paper. This paper just analyzed the four different soil journals. The topic of this paper will just talk about how deep of research is being conducted. It's very clear that most of the research is just located as the surface soil. Most of them just limited to the 1 meter above. So it means that what happened in the deep soil, especially more than one meter deep. So most of us have no idea about this. But recent papers have indicated that the deep soil has made a great contribution to the carbon budget and also the nitrogen budget. So we have to explore what happened in the deep soil. And even in the experiment, for the field experiment, usually that we will, for example, this experiment about the warming experiment. Usually we will apply this experiment to the surface. But this experiment will focus on the whole soil body. Maybe it's actually 2 meter deep. So that means that we have a lot of more and more researchers have noticed the deep soil process and also the functions of all this. Yeah. So here we just want to use this conception, critical zone. Critical zone, it means that it's from the top of the plant, from terminal plant, and to deep into the underground water. This is called the vertical profile. And from this profile, this is ecosystem research, which we currently apply here, just located in this area, in this region. So it's not totally covered this all of the profile. And also that for the total profile is also determined by the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and also and also maybe the soil and the bedrock. So for the vertical zone, this concept was proposed by National Research Council in 2001 by from the National Academy of Sciences in the US. Because in this report, it's the first time that this concept was recognized. And also this report will give the definition about the critical zone. It is that to the critical zone, it means that it's a heterogeneous Earth surface system that will extend from the top of the canopy of plant and deep to the underground water. And some things that I think is not there's maybe some make additional modification, especially from also include atmosphere, because that's just located limited to the top of the vegetation. It means that maybe atmosphere is not included in the critical zone. So for the critical zone, it is apparently will cover horizontal, scale, different ecosystems in one region or in a similar topographic places. And also another thing is the vertical profile. And in another paper that published by new phytologist, this is editor's review. This paper just gives clearly definition of the difference between ecosystem and Earth's critical zone. And from this paper, it shows that the concepts of ecosystem and the concepts of critical zone, for some time, most of them is quite similar. But the most apparent difference is the vertical profile. Most ecosystem research just limited to the surface soil. So for the critical zone, we'll go to the deep soil. So at the first part, I just introduced the background and the definition of the critical zone. And the next step, I want to introduce some of the observation infrastructures all over the world in the recent years. Here is a paper, but it is written in Chinese. Yes, but this paper I think is very useful. Because this paper just collected different publications and different information about the critical zone. And this paper analyzed the development of critical zone in three dimensions. The first is important, especially the international program, this dimension. And the second dimension is about publications, including the papers and the reports. And the third dimension is about the events, some is important conference and the meetings, workshops that will be very important for the progress of the critical zone. From the paper, the main conclusion is that the importance of critical zone has been accepted widely across the world, and also the critical zone will emphasize to solve the regional issue. This means that we will mainly provide the solution for the ecological issues and the environmental issues in the regional scale or global scale. And for the critical zone research, it's called also the critical zone science. For this science, it was two keywords. The first is the process oriented. It means that for the critical zone, we will focus on the different process, including the ecological process, also the geographic processes. And from the figure, I just list many key processes. And also, the second word is that the flux center. It means that for a critical zone is a very complex system. How can we study it? So it means that the flux between different spheres or different poles will give us much information about the system response to the climate change or human disturbance. This means the process oriented and also the flux center. Another thing is about the critical zone surveys. And now this is the only one paper published several years ago that focused on the surveys of critical zone. It's a little similar with the ecosystem surveys, but this paper just gives clearly the conclusion about that. The process will determine the critical zone functions, and these functions will determine how much of our service that the critical zone can provide it. So this is I think it's a very interesting paper. This is the first to describe how to evaluate the service and functions of the critical zone. And recently, about the development of critical zone research, there were three new words. The first one is the deep time, and the second is the deep depth, and the second is the deep coupling. Deep coupling. We noticed that there are three deep here. The first one, deep time, is quite similar with the long-term observation in ecosystem. But for a critical zone, because it also included the bedrock, so the time scale is much longer than ecosystem research. And for the depth, just as I mentioned before, for depth is it's not just from the surface of soil. It also includes the deep soil. So the depth is very different. And the coupling, it means that the coupling is not only limited to the ecosystem, ecosystem process, the coupling, and also include the interaction between different spheres, such as atmosphere and the biosphere. And also there's some hot issues in critical zone research. And this is the figure that's indicated by the critical zone network. Here is the four different questions. The first one is about the atmosphere and also landform, and also the ecosystem, such as the water, the different parts of the hot issues of ecosystem critical zone research. And in the research opinion, we can use this figure. This is also the first is the topography and also climate time and also the human disturbance, many dimensions, to describe how the critical zone responds to global change. So with progress in critical zone research, so in recent maybe the past 20 years, that some countries, especially in Europe and in US, some network, just like the long-term ecosystem research network, that's some critical zone network also has been set up. The first one is the CZO. CZO is founded in 2001. Actually, that's the National Science Foundation provided the first financial support for the network's establishment. And at the beginning of this network, that they will install that there are only five stations, and now there are totally there are 9 stations across the US. And in 2020, this network becomes another name. It's called CZNet. CZNet. It means the new name. But the stations also the same. It's the same. Just only the nine stations to study the critical zone in different regions across the US. Now here I just give you 2 samples of the field station. The first one is in Boulder. In Boulder in the west of US. In Boulder sites, we can see that around the different altitude, there are different observation sites, different on sites. Also, the plant also installed different infrastructure or equipment to measure the atmosphere and the soil, and also the biodiversity and the water, and even the bedrock. Some information of this, the whole pictures of the critical zone. And the second one is the sheer hills. For this site, we can do this site that this is the map of the site. We can see there are three red points. It means that for these 3 places, they will also install that different research or observation infrastructures. From here, you can see clearly about the different color means different observation items. Here is the most clearly that's a different. I mean that's flood tower, maybe the two flood tower, and for the nitrogen deposition fluxes, and also the soil moisture, some infrastructures. So in Germany, in 2008, a network is called the Torino, also was installed. But in Germany, as we can see, it's only 4 sites. But actually, in each site, this site will cover a region. It means that in each region, we have at least 2 or 3 sites, to measure and to conduct the long-term observation. And another work is initiative is proposed by France. It's called the ODCAR. For this data work, the more sites was included. Totally, there are more than nearly 70 sites along in Europe, in South Africa, and also maybe in other places in the world. So this map gives currently the different sites and networks covered together. They will install a new network. This is the critical zone exploration network. It's called the CZEN. And this network will provide very useful and a lot of information about the different places, especially focus on the biosphere's interactions. So for the third part, I want to introduce some critical zone infrastructures in China. In China now, yes, we have the only 5 sites. This is the name labeled with critical zone. It is you can see from here, this is very close to the capital of China in Beijing. It's Yanshan Mountain. It's the Yanshan Mountain site. And the second one is the coastal site. It's close to the sea. And the second one is in southeast of China. It's called Qianzhou Station. And also this one. This is close to the Huanghe River. Yeah. And the last one is located in Louis Plateau. Yeah. There's 5 sites in China up to now. Yeah. Here's a map of the different sites. The first one is the Qianzhou Station. The Qianzhou Station, we can hear that this is the whole map of the station, and also include different sub-regions. In different sub-regions, we apply the different infrastructures to make a long-term observation. Here is also another one is Louis Plateau Station. Here we can see not only we have the observation sites, but also have a transect along the different environmental gradients to the field investigation and get the spatial information. And about the 5 stations, this national station, this is labeled with critical zone. Actually, in CERN, we have other sites that also do some work that's related to critical zone. The first one is the Yingtan Station. Yingtan Station, just in this map, is the CZEN. We can notice that in China, there's only one site here, labeled here. This site also is called the Yingtan Station. For this station, that's we apply use the different methods such as the satellite, the drone, and also the ground measurement, and to study the process and response of critical zone. And the other one is the pooling station. In this station is located in southwest of China. In this place, the topography is very specific. It's called the karst region. In this region, the bedrock will have different size of gaps, so the water or precipitation will just flow down very quickly and deeply. Yeah. And the third one is the Yuzhong Station. This is the central of China here. And for this one, the facility is very interesting, including nearly 50 meters deep. This is a deep well, deep well to study the water movement and also the nutrition movement in the cropland. So the last part, I want to make a brief introduction of the platform or in structure, the base structure in China. This is proposed based on survey. So totally the design of this platform is just currently focused on the carbon, the ecosystem, the ecological carbon sink up to now. But maybe in the future we will expand this platform to do the water cycle and also some other things. For name is that we just call this TCOP. It means terrestrial carbon observation platform. It's have 5 different parts, different components. The first one is that the distributed. This is the whole distribution of this platform. It includes 13 sub-platforms across China. And the first component is distributed the power clusters. And then in total, we have 21 towers located in different ecosystems to measure the fluxes between ecosystem and atmosphere, and also the fluxes between soil and atmosphere. And the second one is greenhouse gases measurement system. For this system, we just focus on the CO2, water, and methane, the concentration in the atmosphere. And in the atmosphere, we have different techniques to measure the variation and the changes in the concentration. And the third component is second is the flux measurement. Okay, the third one is the greenhouse gases concentration measurement. And the fourth component is the remote sensing. We use the drone and also the power-based equipment to measure the ecosystem carbon storage and also the biomass with high frequency. And the last one is the data collection and data service integration system. Oh, this is the last one. From here is a very nice place. I want to use the figure. I'm not is illegal or not. Okay. Yeah. The use one is for houses, and the thing is the biosphere. Oh, sorry. The biosphere and the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and also the endosphere together will together to form the critical zone. And the kickoff is also open scientific infrastructure. And I think that will provide a very unique and important roles to study the critical zone and the ecosystem functions in Asia. And thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Ling. It was very interesting, and I'm just thinking about